Byaffe abanoonya njagala omusajja agenda okunzimbira ennyumba, njagala omusajja agenda okunzibirawo boutique. Bano tugenda kukola mpola tokuba ku namba yange.
Because even in high school, a boy could be chucked because he couldn't buy for the girl break. But that's the responsibility of her father.
It should not be an obligation, in my opinion, to assume the role of her father, the role of her guardian. Otherwise, over time, if you keep on doing that, she has the right to say, I don't see you that way anymore. I see you as a father figure.
Welcome, guys, to another installment of the Mending podcast. And this time we're talking about matters of the heart. Yeah, they think that as gentlemen, we don't talk about these things. But yes, it's that season. Yes. Valentine's is coming up in a couple of days. Valentine is coming. Where is your boyfriend? And we want this to be your first men's conference. Hey, you small guys. Yeah, we see you where you are. Yeah. So, we're going to talk about you guys. And basically, things to do with money. Right. Yeah, because in relationships, money can make or break for sure. And we're going to dive right into it. And I want to start from society's views around expenditure in relationships. What are the motivations we see people have when it comes to spending on my woman? I need to make her happy and all those kinds of things. So what does society have? What do you observe?
Well, I think the idea of her being the prize, she's the prize. This idea of I'm not designed for a hard life, I'm queens of soft life. So the kind of man that must date me must be one who can cover my bills. I don't want a man. I think if you watch the Saturday evening show on Bukedde TV, byaffe abanoonya, njagala omusajja agenda okunzimbira ennyumba, njagala omusajja agenda okunzibirawo boutique. Bano tugenda kukola mpola tokuba ku namba yange. So I think that is like the basic idea of what's expected of a man. I think it's the silent expectation or the loud one in some circles that a man should be able to pay bills for the woman. So meaning if you go out on a date, that's clear who is paying. Don't even ask. The birthday is coming up. What did your boyfriend do for you for the birthday? I knew a guy who would take the girlfriend to the park and pay for the entire trip with her friends and those days. So buying phones, buying gifts. So it's expected that men who are involved with a woman will spend their money on that woman in any form it takes, whether it's buying clothes, buying a phone, sending upkeep. That's it. That's normally the expectation from the society.
And it's sad that it has even washed down to generations that are even younger.
Yes.
Because even in high school, a boy could be chucked because he couldn't buy for the girl break. But that's the responsibility of her father.
Yes.
But but that expectation is there that it's even beyond the basic things, but like a man should be able to fund the luxurious life that a woman wants. And that's what we see in society.
The most pretty girl in school should get the richest guy in school.
Yes,
in other words, that they like romance belongs to the highest bidder. You get it.
That's what it is.
You can only get that to that place if you bid for it.
In fact, if it was a broke guy, though, it was miraculous. People would say, how did he, something would be. So then in terms of still spending, on the Christian end of things, when we get into the Christian worldview, of course, it also has a few differences here and there in how people reason. That yes, there are those who are committed to taking care of their families and whatnot. But then there's these ones who believe, Jesus paid it all. Like in the previous episode, we were saying Christ is the prize.
Yes.
Why should I be spending on this young lady?
Yes.
That's another extreme that I see. I don't know what you would say about that. Christians especially have that belief. That,
I think if as believers, as Christian men, we set out our priorities right from day one, that dating is a time of evaluation to assess our readiness for marriage. So indeed, of course, in that, if you care for somebody, even if it's not someone that you're dating, but it's a friend, you would find yourself spending on them or giving towards their need. But that comes out of an already existing relationship that is happening, that you're talking, that you are basically building a friendship. So when the man or when you're helping out as a friend. It should not be an obligation, in my opinion, to assume the role of her father, the role of her guardian. Otherwise, over time, if you keep on doing that, she has a right to say, I don't see you that way anymore. I see you as a father figure. and it's because you caused it. So I think there's a lot we say with our actions that we don't with our mouth, you see. And then also sometimes guys just keep on buying gifts. There are people who are not up front with their intentions for the girl. They're not dating yet. They're not even like seeing each other in that way. But the guy likes the girl. So he keeps on buying these gifts and stuff, hoping the girl will get the picture. And for her, she thinks, you're just being a giver. On the other extreme, of course, there are guys who have totally distanced themselves from any form of financial giving. But it's not possible to love without giving. Love itself is a self-donating word. You can't think about love without some form of sacrifice or pain or doing that. So, but the moment we make it obligatory, it becomes now consumer. My Rolex guy, I give him 3K, he gives me this type of Rolex. I increase 4K, he adds another egg. You get it? So I think the moment love becomes like that, it feels like an Africa, a Ugandan Rolex. I think that you're going wrong. You keep paying, and the more you increase, your expectations increase, and it's dangerous for both sides because even for the lady, it can create an illusion of she needs to meet these needs or these things will stop coming in. Still around these small conversations, because I know we're going to have a lot of stingy men conferences coming up in the next couple of days. So do you think it's important for couples to really pin down that conversation as early as possible in terms of like the financial expectations, or you just wait until you've walked down the aisle and then you say, hey, now let's talk about money? Is it something that you would recommend couples talk about at an early stage? I think the way money works is that it's almost immediate, because even by the time you're talking to that person, you probably have paid for the date, or you're paying for the phone call. You've bought a bundle of Airtel or MTN to call the person. So I think the earlier we have the conversation, the better. Because again, what I've realized sometimes that we all have our assumptions until conflict comes and realize I'm not even fighting against what happened. I'm fighting against the assumption that I brought to what happened. So I think the more we discuss them and have a space as early as possible, not in a very sort of direct way to say, okay, for you, I can't spend beyond 100K on you. That's just not me. No, I think just to say that, because if you're dating someone, if you're knowing somebody, trying to get married to them, you want to know where they work, how much they earn, the kind of job that they do. Is it a monthly salary kind of job where every 30th the person is happy? Is it a contract-based type of thing where you do a short contract and you move on and then you survive for a while, then you get another one? Because all those things have a bearing on what you expect eventually. You get it. If you talk to someone who does short contracts to cover a financial bill that is almost monthly, that won't work. But also for the girls, let me just say this. I think if you're a Christian and you've committed yourself to abstinence until marriage, and then you're with someone who is sending you money that you can't explain, can't account for, but you're spending it, sooner or later, there is...
going to have to pay.
You would have to pay. Eventually, you get it. Because that money is getting used to a particular lifestyle that you may find hard to live without eventually when you get used to it. And therefore, you're willing to compromise your purity boundaries and sexual boundaries because of how far you've gone in the thing. So I think the earlier couples talk about it, the better. In fact, in the Bible, the dynamic of Samson and Delilah, you know, one is in it for the sex, the other one is in it for the money. So eventually, it is clear that this one Delilah betrays Samson to the Philistines for the sake of money. And then Samson, of course, would lose his sight for the sake of sex. You get it. So I think that dynamic keeps on playing back in our society. And it's a dangerous thing if couples don't talk about it at all. You get it. Because, again, half of the conflict comes from the assumption you brought to the conflict, not what happened there exactly.
But even the expectations aside, I think it's still key to know that because you are walking towards being one, or even for those that are married, like you're acting as one. Conversations around finances have to happen because they are good financial habits, like budgeting, such that you know you're not going maybe on a date and then the lady is going to ask for this and this and the other. You've talked about it. You know, I have this much. We want to do this. These are our future plans. So I think it's very, very important as early as possible to talk about these things and share anything around finances, because it's hard to detach it. You're going to become one, and it won't be what the world is pushing of my money, her money. Like, this is our resource that we need to manage together. And it's a way even for the gentleman now to look out for the red flags. Because if someone then is not looking at the vision that you have for the family that you want to raise, then you have to be very careful and observe that there are things beyond just appearance and whatnot, but even finances. Because like we have seen some of the things that are happening around the divorces. The most recent one, I think, for the Man City manager. The lady departs and goes with so much money, saying, oh, this guy was focusing so much on football. And so that thing that has brought in money, she's going to take half of that wealth and that kind of thing. So I'm sure those signs are there from the word go. And for us gentlemen, we need to look out for those things so that we know that that thing is either going to drain you broke or you're going to work with someone who is going to help you to grow financially and in all these other aspects because you share the same vision and passion.
Just to add to that, I think our views on money are also views on our priorities, views on our personality, our character. Because I believe money is some kind of amplifier. It just amplifies the person's character and the person's preferences. So if I'm with someone who their view of money is that whenever I go out and someone is paying for the date, I have to order for the most expensive dish or for the most expensive thing I see. That tells me that, one, you don't know how to make money. Two, you are not a woman of wisdom. And three, I won't probably establish a affair with you if you're keeping on like this. Because again, I believe Christians, there has to be a healthy respect for money, like a healthy stewardship of money. Knowing it is limited as a resource. We have it for a short time because it's a currency. It's supposed to move from one hand to the other for it to make sense. And then three, it is God cares about what we say with how we use our money. So a woman or a man or a Christian that is not thinking seriously about money in terms of how they use money is what it's saying about their character is in big trouble. Because eventually that's how you go for a date and then you begin calling guys. Now, hello, please send me another 100K. You get what I mean?
You're
to
trying
avoid
to impress
the
someone,
yes,
and
yes. So be clear about it, and then also, of course, you can save if it's something big that you want to maybe surprise someone about. You can start to save. In other words, it's also possible to save up enough money to do something big and expensive for your person, but that does not push you in a very awkward place financially. And you're getting into debt, over a holiday that you've never gone for yourself, by the way, as a man, but you're sending your girlfriend too. You get. And then secondly, how deep is the commitment? I feel like at times men overly commit full board to a person who is not overly committed to the same thing. In other words, she's still trying to know you. You have sent her 100K on her phone. She says good morning, you send another 300K.
Meanwhile, she saved you as hair and nails in her phone.
You see? So I think we have to look out for how we are idolizing certain things with our money. You might be idolizing the possibility of this girl saying yes to you as her man. Yet she's not even on to that. So you begin to break up with her, and then you say, this girl has spent all my money, but she never asked you. It's you who was always sending 100K, 300, 200. You get. So that's how I tend to think about it.
So as we conclude the episode, your parting shots, basically from a biblical standpoint, how do you encourage men as we go into this Valentine season, whether married, unmarried? Because I know there's going to be a lot of pressure with things that people are seeing on social media, and one would think I'm not doing enough. Basically, how would you encourage guys going into this season? I want to make my partner happy, but how can I think about it with a balanced mind and not losing that identity that I have as a believer, as a Christian man?
One, I think it begins with honesty. If we are honest to ourselves about how much we are earning and how much we plan to do with what we are earning, because again, there is no unplanned for money. It's hard to get money on your account that's just there, that just showed up. I think everybody has a plan of some sort that if I got this much money, this would happen. So I think not communicating or not being honest about money and how much of it we have and how much we are willing to spend is an error. And again, for me also, a lack of honesty is a big thing, because it means you are giving me a version of you that doesn't exist. You get what I mean? So I think honesty is the first thing. And then secondly, keeping up with the characters of Christian love, and we are not here to buy love. Again, romance can't be for the highest bidder in the Bible. Romance is two people who have committed to love each other that way, and not just committed to sending each other money. I think someone said the best Valentine's gift you can give to your girlfriend is to marry her. You get what I'm saying? Commit to her for life. This one of sending birthday gifts and what? No. Are you sending them to your wife? You get what I mean? So then, of course, for the marrieds, of course, if you had planned to give the Valentine's Day gift already, please do give it. But if you hadn't planned to give it, don't borrow money to impress a woman.
She's your wife for life.
She's your wife for life eventually. Go back, save enough money, and indeed take care of her. And then sometimes also, those of us who are married, you realize that you are buying flowers, yet, look here, gas has been done for the last 2 weeks. So the money you could have spent on refilling the gas, you've put it on buying flowers and chocolate and what. Like, what is this? So I think also being practical about where you are and that. And then also the last verse I want to share with the singles is Paul's advice to the single people. 1 Corinthians 7. 1 Corinthians 7, and verses 35. I say this for your benefit, not to lay any restraint upon you, but to promote good order and to secure your undivided attention to the Lord. So, in a nutshell, this text in context is saying your singleness is to secure undivided devotion to God.
God, yeah.
Singleness has a purpose, which is to expand and grow your walk with the Lord Jesus. Everything else, marriage, dating, is thrown in there in that context, in the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So if you lose the bigger picture, you end up idolizing it.
Yeah.
Idolizing either how you spend your money as a single man. I know guys who have, ridiculous kinds of gadgets because somehow, it is my money. Yeah. But our money isn't ours. Our money is for the Lord.
Yeah, we're just stewards.
We're just stewards of it. So I think navigating those lines, avoiding the extremity of being stingy in terms of, for you never want to help out even when you can, simply because you're trying to avoid being stingy. On the other hand, you want to also avoid being calculatively generous so that you can bend a decision to your way. That's not giving, that is manipulation. So I think let there be a firm balance on those two.
The scripture I would like to share for our small brothers, 1 Timothy 5:8. If anyone does not provide for his own, and especially for those of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. So indeed, as we're looking towards marriage as men, it's inevitable for us to spend. And we have to work hard to earn that living because the Bible commands us to provide for our families. Otherwise, we are worse than someone who is an unbeliever. So we are not allowed to be stingy. But if stinginess is just delaying gratification now and we are planning for the family later, then I don't think you should let the world point fingers at you and crucify you because you're not doing it now. So have that balanced view and please have that undivided devotion to the Lord as we have shared. So that's about it for today, guys. So please, again, subscribe, like this, share it everywhere. Keep supporting us by sharing these things everywhere. Let other men benefit, Christian men, and see you in the next episode. God bless.